If you love to become a singer but you think you are too old for that, this video is for you. Make sure that you stick to the end because I am also going to tell you how to take your first step to become a good singer at any age. My name is Jorgelina. I've been a vocal coach for 13 years and I specialize on teaching adults how to sing contemporary music from a holistic and integral approach. Now, firstly, let me say one thing, and this is very important, something that most people don't realize, and is that your mindset plays a huge role when you're learning anything. Seriously, the main reason why people don't learn to sing is because they just don't even get started. They are like, oh, I am not talented enough, or I am too old, and maybe they spend hours researching on am I too old, am I too young, instead of doing the work. Try to get the negative emotions aside if possible and just focus on learning and starting from your starting point. Now, this is important because a lot of people think, oh, a singer like Dimash started when he was 5, and so how can I catch up? Well, you don't have to. If you start when you are 45, when you are 46, you're gonna sing much better than when you are 45. I promise that if you practice. So don't worry about not being another person. You are you have your own story, and you don't have to catch up with anyone. This is not a race, this is for you. And if you want to learn to sing, just get started. Don't worry about if it is too late, too early, it doesn't matter. Important thing is that you are doing something for yourself and for your enjoyment, and you can do that at any age. Now, first, let me tell you something. Anyone can learn at any age, and they can become very good. But the thing is, you learn differently when you are a child than when you are an adult. And the important thing here is to find a good strategy that helps you make the best of your singing training to reach your singing goals. Which leads me to the next point. First thing is you want to think about what your goals are in singing, and of course you can modify them as you go, but having a clear goal, it's much more helpful to provide a singing strategy that will be very useful to help you get there more quickly. Within those goals, of course, there are certain milestones, and of course, if you have a vocal coach, and if you don't, go ahead and book a lesson with me, but a vocal coach can help you structure that goal in different milestones that will provide a shortcut for you to get there. I actually love to teach adults because adults have something that kids don't have, and it's many years of stories. The way kids learn is a little bit more by copying. One advantage that kids have, they usually are not scared to play. So I also teach kids, and one of the things they do, not all of them, but a lot of them, is they make a mistake and they start laughing. An adult, on the other hand, they make a mistake and get very embarrassed, and that doesn't help learning. So there are a lot of things that you can do to make your singing training much more quickly. Then the first one of them is to work on your emotions around that. So first of all, if you want to learn something, you need to be in play mode and in curious mode, being curious about every different change rather than being embarrassed about how you sound. You should honor the current abilities that you have. Is the best way to be present in your starting point, whatever that is, and go to the next step. So as I said, one of the difference between kids and adults learning singing is that kids learn a little bit more by copying, but adults learn a little bit more by perceiving. So adults actually have an easier time learning to perceive the instrument and singing from internal changes. And that's actually really good news, because the only way that you can master your instrument when you're a singer is by perceiving it, because you are working with internal muscles. In fact, if you want to sing with good technique, you need to be able to sing from the internal muscles rather than from all the external muscles that sometimes we use, and we force the voice as a result. Of course, if you are an adult and you've never done any music before, first you're going to have to go through the process of connecting the brain to pitch and to rhythm, and that, as I mentioned in other videos, it can be done at any age, but you can't skip that step, no matter how old you are. Now, there are two benefits that you actually have when learning to sing as an adult, and one of them is that you have a lot more stories. Your voice has gone through a lot of different emotions, because your voice is a very important communicator. When you are angry, your voice sounds different than when you are sad or when you are happy, and so your voice sort of shapes up so you can communicate whatever you want to communicate. When you're an adult, you have a lot of those things in your system. The sounds are there available to you. and you hopefully you're more mature emotionally. You have gone through a lot of emotions, you have resolved them in your body, and a lot of the songs that you sing, you are going to be able to sing them from a much more honest, from a different perspective. It happened to me when I was a very young singer and I was in singing school, and I wanted to sing a tango. Now, if you don't know what that means, tango is an Argentinian style. I studied in Argentina firstly. It's a lot of nostalgia, a lot of deep emotions on it. It's very dense, and I attempted to sing it. I don't know, I was 20 or something like that, and the teacher, Mr. Ronnie, which was our interpretation teacher at the time, looked at me and said, "You need to be older to sing tango. You have to have suffered a lot." And that was a little bit sad because I wanted to sing then the tango. But okay, now I'm 34 now, and I definitely know what he meant now. The other advantage that you have when you learn to sing as an adult is that your voice has reached another level of maturity. Your voice is different. In fact, some teachers won't teach you until you are about 15 years old. So that makes the singing training a little bit faster actually. However, a disadvantage that you have when you're an adult is that, yes, as I said, you bring a lot of stories within yourself. Those stories also shape your posture in certain ways. Generally, not everyone, but most of us, through the years, we adopt postures that we develop through resisting to emotions or to spending a lot of time in a computer or things like that, and they are generally not that healthy, and they also shape our voice and make it more stiff and less flexible. But the good news is that posture work is always available for you, and there are a lot of things that you can do to make your body more flexible. In fact, I personally think that this is a great work to do, not only for singing, but for your general health. Working with your posture, being able to have a flexible posture that is functional to whatever you want to do is gonna bring you a lot of health benefits and, of course, singing benefits. If you are ready to get started, go to the description below because I have prepared a 20-minute introductory audio lesson that you can follow along. This lesson is free for you to download, and it's designed to get you in contact with your voice, which is the first step you want to take as a singer, and that is actually gonna make any learning after that much more effective and quicker as well.